Hey, welcome back, y'all. This is Easy Insights number 6. I got the Corey Evans, TSM from Minnesota behind the screen, and I'm Jon Zuk. We're at LeSueur Answer Plot. Beautiful day out here. The crop is growing great, and we got some things to share with you today.
John, today's June 21st. Give us a soybean update and tell us what to look for going into the future.
Yeah, so June 21st, Corey, marks the summer solstice. This is the longest day of the year. Soybeans days from here now out are going to be getting shorter. Soybeans are going to be triggered into flowering here, I bet you in the next week and a half. Some things I'm seeing in the field is some uneven emergence. I'm getting some phone calls on here. This soybean here was planted shallower. This soybean was planted deeper. You can see the differences in soil moisture. Definitely some uneven emergence, but we're looking at about V2 to V3 soybeans out in the field, and we're gonna have flowers within the next week. So the one thing that I do want to add back and tell everybody is, if we're going to get our burner chemistries out of the way, if we're going to control weeds, now and the next week is going to be the time to do it. The other thing with V2 soybeans, in here you can see that we got some nodulation starting to occur. Now is the time to be checking that nodulation, cutting them open, making sure they're nice and red, and we got nitrogen there for that soybean once the flowers start getting put on.
Okay, John, let's switch to corn. Tell us what you're seeing right now as a result of some of our planting conditions.
Yeah, so Corey, here's our cinder block. So you can see our cinder block. This is what we talked about in the first couple insights. We're definitely seeing this across the majority of the corn crop in Minnesota. Some of the things we could see from this is, number one, if the roots can't grow through the cinder block, how the heck are they going to get your nitrogen? So use the tools that you have at hand. Right now is not too late to take a soil nitrate sample. It's definitely not too late to use a field forecasting tool to go into the crop and start to manage that crop and make sure that we're getting the last little bit of side dressing done that we possibly could. The other thing that I see with this cinder block is we are getting some stress, and that stress is occurring at the crown. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm looking at the corn plant is I split that crown open, and I want to make sure that that crown is nice and healthy and white. So here we got a corn plant just dug up behind us, and I want to show you the crown on here. So this is exactly where you want to look, and you want to make sure that this crown is nice and yellow and maybe a little bit white, but definitely not brown. If it's brown or it's starting to turn black, that's a symbol of the sugars degrading and potentially some crown rot. That was going to trigger you for a V5 fungicide, or if you're past V5 right now, go into a VT application with that fungicide. Some other things with the corn crop as far as where we're at, you can see right now ear development overall is beginning to start putting on length of ear instead of round. So our ears have now been developed, and you can see that on this plant, you can see that the ear is right here. That first ear is being developed. Those kernels around are already set. Now we're determining length, and now is a critical time to take a tissue sample and manage those nutrients in season. Two of the nutrients I want to leave you with that I've been seeing a lot of deficiencies out there so far: boron, number 1, zinc, number 2. So boron and zinc are key micronutrient deficiencies out there. Take a tissue sample and make sure you're managing your crop for the rest of the season.